Good day to you all. I am Voices of British. I am Lazar. Welcome to Voices of British Orthodoxy. This is the 200 subscriber questions and answers. Ask me anything special. So I posted this across multiple social medias, and I received some questions, and so they are going to be asked. So thank you all for 200 subs. I must admit, when I started this channel, I truthfully didn't even think I'd get past 100 subs, let alone 200. That means the absolute world to me. I am so grateful. Please do keep me, Lazar, in your prayers. And so I've screenshotted the questions and put them into this presentation. It will be done in asked order. So there are probably questions that I should probably keep to the beginnings for. As a matter of fact, one of the questions that probably should have been, that ideally would have been put towards the beginning for viewer retention purposes, is literally the last question of the video. Because it is an absolute juicy question, and it could cause a tiny bit of controversy, maybe. I'm not sure. So, if I do not know, I'm not qualified to answer such, then I will answer that I do not know, and I'm not qualified. I think there's only one question where this factors in, but there is also the first part of the question where I can answer, but we will cross that bridge when we have to. Right, first question, what is your favourite colour? From Raven on Twitter, a good mutual and friend of mine. My favourite colour is blue. I have always loved blue. It's also liturgically the colours that are worn when on days to do with the Theotokos, which is extra blessed, which is like extra great. I do love red as well, but blue is my favourite colour. What is your favourite icon? I have two icons that in order to make this not too long, I'm gonna just keep it simple. There are two icons, so the Inexhaustible Cup, in particular this version that I got from a monastery when we were on the way back from Ohrid. We made a stop at, I think it was a monastery, and I remember asking like 5 or 6 people to just make sure that this was the Inexhaustible Cup before I brought it. I love the Inexhaustible Cup. And also, we've also got the Seven Swords, the Seven Sorrows, Softener of Evil Hearts, icon of the Theotokos. There is also the Resurrection icon, but I kind of want to keep this simple and just to... Right, what is your favourite language besides English? If we're assuming the language has to be spoken in the modern day, it is Serbian. If we're including dead languages, I guess you could also throw Old English and Church Slavonic in there as well. But Serbian would be my answer. Is there a convert surge in the... So this one has multiple parts. Don't worry, this is not the one where I can't answer. I can answer all of these. Is there a convert surge in the UK? Yes. It's not quite to the same extent as our brothers in the Americas. In America. And I think France and Germany probably also have more of a convert surge than us. But we do have a convert surge here in the United Kingdom. If so, which EO... based upon this, I'm going to assume you mean jurisdictions, are seeing the most growth. Truthfully, it's literally the 3 that you named. But also, I would say that... I'm not sure about converts in Romania, but I know that these 3 plus Serbia are all seeing a decent amount of converts coming into the church. I know the Romanians are seeing growth, but I'm pretty sure that's mostly through immigration. But if I had to only choose... Oh wait, no, he said churches, so jurisdictions. It's all of these 3, plus, at the very least in the Midlands, Serbia. And I think... But yeah, in the lands that constitute one, the West, and I think also you could probably throw the East Midlands in there as well. And in general, across the former Kingdom of Mercia, Serbia is probably seeing the most growth. But overall, it's probably Greeks. It's probably the Greeks, Antiochians, and also Vrokor. The MP and the Western traditions do see some growth, but Vrokor tends to carry the Russians. Anyway, are most from the Church of England backgrounds or evangelical or no religious affiliation? I think from these lot, it's probably Church of England, aka Anglican. Overall, I think I've seen more converts from Catholicism than anything. Um, but we do have a lot of converts from Anglicanism, but there's also a lot of converts from Catholicism. I think in general it probably should be Anglicanism, because you do hear stories of mass conversions of Anglicans, and obviously evangelical is here because of the lot in, is it Manchester, where Antioch received an entire, like, non-denom parish? Anyway, yeah, ultimately it's probably between Church of England and Catholic, but the Papists, but I've seen converts from all backgrounds. Muslims, evangelicals, Lutherans, whatever. Uh, anyway, what British Isles saint do you find most inspiring? This is a tough one. So, every time I've recorded this, I often struggle to narrow it down to one. So, I'm gonna give you two answers, but I'm also gonna give you two, what's it called? Two honourable mentions, which is Saints Frideside and Chad. And then the first answer that you could consider valid for this is Saint Bede the Venerable, because he is the one who made we know of so much of Britain's saints because of him and his ecclesial history, and his writings in general. So yeah, it's like, a lot of what we know about some of the earliest saints, we only know that they existed, / who they are or whatever, because of St. Bede writing them down. And then the other one, which is normally the answer I gave in the previous attempts at recording this, it would be St. Brohan of Broheniog, a Welsh saint from the Middle Kingdom of Broheniog, which is Welsh in like the middle portion of Wales. And it's because him and his third wife, and all of 24, I think it is, of his children, some of his grandchildren, and then some of his son/daughter-in-laws are all saints. So this man, single-handedly through his progeny, gave us a lot of saints. And that deserves to be mentioned. Like, I think his most famous daughter is Morvenna, who is, like, super important to the Cornish. So yeah, I'd probably say it's those honourable mentions plus those two. So Saint Bede and Saint Brohan. The next question is from Discord, and it's the only question that I got asked on the Discord, on any of the Discords that I posted my short in. Do you ask for your spiritual father's blessing for each individual video? The answer to that is yes and no. So, I would say I have a general blessing for the lives of the saints, so the daily readings or whatever, I do not need to ask my spiritual father's blessing. Plus, he's busy, so I doubt he'd be able to find the time to give me such a blessing. But anyway, so I don't actually have, so I don't actually need to ask individual blessings for that content. But everything else, the private pilot's license video, the anti-Western right video, the other specials that I've done, anything that's in the, what's it called, the specials folder, whatever you want to call it, playlist, there we go, I did receive an individual blessing for. So, the next question is, are you saved? My question, I want Lazar answer in video. Thank you, Martin. Right, I was saved, I am being saved, I, Lord willing, will be saved, I think is the famous answer from Metropolitan Callistus West, so, yeah, that would be my answer. I have a few questions. Thank you, at Rushmore Trad 109. I like to check the YouTube like a couple of times throughout the day, so I was able to catch and interact with this dude. Should I just go to my nearest church, or would you recommend some jurisdictions over others? Sorry, I've got hiccups. Honestly, the simple answer is go to your nearest church. Worst case scenario, hopefully, depending on your area, you'll be able to just go to a different church. But would you recommend some jurisdictions over others? Yeah, I don't. I am not qualified to answer that. Every jurisdiction has issues. No jurisdiction is perfect. I am not qualified, and I don't really know how to answer that question. But yeah, just go to your nearest parish. Anyway, number 2, what is the most important thing for British Orthodoxy to focus on, both on an individual level and on national pan-Orthodox level? So, on an individual level, I think it's just about, I don't know, I guess, 1, venerating Britain saints, and 2, listening to your spiritual father and whatever advice he gives you, so that you can be the best example of the faith that you can be. And then on a national level, it's probably, organising more pilgrimages and pan-Orthodox events and youth events. Though, to give credit where it's due, Russia and, Rokor in particular, and the Greeks, Phytera, seem to be doing quite well with the youth event. And there's also, I think Antioch is also doing kind of well with the youth stuff. But yeah, more events, both pan-Orthodox and, more pilgrimages would probably be my answer to that second part. And then the first part would be venerating Britain's saints and, in general, listening to your spiritual father and living out the faith. Number 3. Would you count as either a Laonizer or a Raminidian? I've probably butchered the pronunciation. No, I'm neither. Reject false dichotomy, embrace holy orthodoxy. That's all I have to say on that. 4. Maybe this is similar to number 2, but what do you think the short, medium, long-term plans should be? This is a very loaded question. Like, what do you mean by medium and long-term plans? Honestly, depending on the general time frame, I probably could. You know what? That's actually this is a solid idea for some videos. Honestly, maybe in a few months, maybe after the Nativity, I might actually ask if I can do 3 videos. Short plans, long-term, medium, long-term plans. Medium and long-term plans. They would be solid videos on their own, so thank you for the idea, brother. The only one that I could probably say short-term would probably be... The only thing that I could the only part of this I can actually answer is short-term, which is, again, we need more pilgrimages, we need more veneration of Britain's saints, we need more archivists and canons to be written to the saints of Britain and Ireland, because there are a lot of them. We need the Russians to actually do something with their Synaxion of the Saints of Great Britain and Ireland, 3rd Sunday after Pentecost, by the way. If you go to Rokor, Western tradition, SARS, I think it's pronounced, you should be asking your priest well, I guess this would be more for next year, but when that 3rd Sunday after Pentecost comes around and you celebrate the Saints of Britain and Ireland, you should be asking if you can do something. Truthfully, I can't answer the medium and long-term plans part of the question, because I'd probably have to look up the general time frame, and then I'd probably have to make sure that I have a blessing to do such videos. But they are solid ideas, and I would love to do 3 videos covering each individual term, because that actually does sound fun, and that sounds like a very solid idea. Thank you. Right. As you can see from earlier, Raven asked multiple questions. 5. Do you prefer cats or dogs? I prefer dogs, but what pets do I own? I own a cat at the moment. Well, I guess technically he's my mom's, but I mean, I live in the house, so technically he's also mine. Funnily enough, the cat's name is Raven. But yeah, I prefer dogs. But I do own a cat. Number 6, favourite book of each testament. This is always a tough one. So I think, honourable mentions for the Old Testament would probably be Proverbs and Job, and then I think my favourite book would probably be Tobit. New Testament, I would probably say, probably the Gospel according to St. John the Theologian. Do you intend to make anything more than the YouTube, Telegram, and Insta? So I assume you're asking if I intend to make any other socials for this, I guess you could say, branding. The answer is yes. I have a TikTok, and it's called Voices of British Orthodoxy. Look it up. The picture is of my particular icon that depicts all the saints of Great Britain and Ireland, which I guess could have been an honourable mention for the earlier question. But yeah, and there's one post thanking everybody for 200 views, and my Insta is blowing up at the moment. Right, that would be that. So I do have a TikTok. I don't know if there's anything else I could justify making. I mean, like, I don't really see the point. Maybe I might make a Voices of British Orthodoxy Twitter, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, truthfully. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. Number 8. Are you clergy slash future clergy? No, and I don't. The answer to that would just be simply no. Or are you just a layman with a blessing? I'm just a layman with a blessing to start this channel and to upload the videos. Right, this one is the one that I was hinting at earlier that could cause some controversy. So, which other British YouTubers do you watch and how would you rate them? So, I watch all 3 of yours specifically mentioned, and I put them plus the other YouTubers that I do watch, and also myself, into a tier list. Because why not? Because I'm assuming that's what you meant by rate them. Also, I do apologise if you can hear the fan on in the background. And also, my hiccups are taking the mick. Right, so let's go, we'll go through each tier. Father Spiridon and, I can't pronounce the first part of his name, but I'm just going to call him Mr. Michael for the rest of this video, are in S tier. So Father Spiridon, I think, is also, funnily enough, the most subscribed Orthodox YouTuber, which is kind of cool. I think the closest is Patistic Nectar, but they have like 200k less, because they're around 300 and something k. His videos are amazing, and everybody can and, well, should listen to them. It's always amazing when you see clips of them come up on Instagram and whatnot when doom scrolling. You know, we'll have an attempt. One, Michael's videos are very high quality, and I do think that he is, as far as lay people go, probably the future face of British Orthodoxy. His videos are very well made, and I would recommend anybody to watch them. He has a very good video about Britain's conversion, and also plenty of good videos about Britain's past being Orthodox. Yeah, go and check him out. In A tier, we have Orthodox Exchange, which I believe is run by a priest in Wales. Truthfully, honestly, not everybody can be S tier. Truthfully, I only really put him in A tier because I don't really watch him too much. B tier, Anglo-Celtic Orthodoxy and Orthodox Audio Labs. I am making an assumption that the latter is British and therefore counts. They're only in B tier. I'd probably move them up to A tier, but they don't actually upload. As a matter of fact, I don't think either have uploaded in over a year, so there is that. Obviously, I'm in the E tier because I am not going to, let's be honest, my videos are not well made. They cover some niche topics, like the private pilot's license video, like using 2 hours of my life to go over the different directories and showcase. Ultimately, probably around 98-ish% of the churches, Orthodox churches in Britain and Ireland. And then that leaves Sig, who was the final YouTuber I could think of, because I wasn't sure whether Orthodox Shahada counted as British or not, because I'm pretty sure Kai from that channel is British, but I'm also not certain. So I don't want to claim them as British when they're not. Anyway, so I put Jerome between C and D tier because it's kind of a tough one. And so, again, if you like watching any of the YouTuber, well, I guess the YouTuber that is lower down, that is entirely up to you. What he does is just generic, you know, anti-Islamism content. And he is good at debating the Muslims. But then again, for the most part, who isn't? There's a lot more substance in the debates where Jay Dyer debates, like, insert your Muslim apologist here. And then one of the things that stops him from being even fully committed to C or even as high as B tier are two very specific clips. One is the one where I'm going to keep these as quickly as possible because 20 minutes is madness. Anyway, so the first clip is when he and Ananda say that something that's technically an Orthodox dogma was actually made up by Jay Dyer and Dr. Is it Bo Branson? Or is it? It's either Dr. Bradshaw or Dr. Branson. I'm not sure which. And he said that, yeah, a certain Orthodox dogma was made up by them. And then there's the other clip where he, there's another clip from a Twitter stream where he defends, I don't really want to say it. Hotel Oscar, Mike Oscar, and then you'd probably put a line, and then Romeo Oscar, Mike Alpha, November, Tango, India, Charlie, relations. So, yeah, I can't really move him beyond that. If you like him and he helps you in your conversion to Orthodoxy, glory to God. Same thing for any of these other accounts. But yeah, that is how I would rate everybody. And hey, if you like me and think that I should be like D tier, I'm grateful for that. Matter of fact, I actually don't know why I didn't put F tier. If I've missed out on any British Orthodox YouTubers, do leave them down below. Again, I'm not sure whether Orthodox Shahada counts as British or not, so I didn't want to put him in the video. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you again for 200 subs. I don't know when. I don't really. I think if you, I don't know, if we want to do another Q&A, I mean, I've received the blessing to start the, like, This Week in UK Orthodoxy / Western Orthodoxy podcast, so maybe questions could be asked ahead of that, and then there could be like a Q&A segment of that, especially if we ever get enough subs to be able to do the episodes live. But I don't know. Honestly, it's difficult for me to imagine getting to specific goals, but I guess next Q&A / AMA could be around, I don't know, 500 subs. If that's something that interests you all, that is something that I could do. If we ever make it that far, of course. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I've been Lazar. As tomorrow is, if you're watching this when it goes live, tomorrow's the mission, so have a blessed mission. God bless you all, and Amen.